Okay, scooter tramps and chopper jockeys all across the land. It is just after 9 p.m. on Sunday night. That means it's time for another episode of Shop Talk. This one is not live.
Oh, man.
No. It's still going to be a good show. Look, everybody's here.
Hi.
And we always something different with this one, man. We have killer guests tonight, a lot of stuff to get through, and it's that time of year, you know, like I'm in one part of the country, Heather's in another part. No, it's not. Listen, don't start already. We're 2 minutes into the show.
Still don't have time for this crap.
No countdown tonight because we're going quick, shooting from the hip.
Boom.
Heather's in Tennessee. I'm in South Dakota. Mark is in disarray.
Wow, man. I'm somewhere.
And we're coming to you with Shop Talk anyway. You know, Shop Talk, you're wondering what it is. We come to you live from the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio every Sunday, except tonight, with 90 to 120 minutes, all the two-wheel bullshit we can fit, some entertainment, couple of laughs here and there, and we start to listen. Am I doing this program? Or
Listen
you?
here.
I'm engineering.
Is there any jazzy hands in this?
She said news
Jazzy
already.
hands?
She said news.
The Shop Talk World
You
Report
ruined the
is brought to you by
surprise.
Law Tigers. Get the compensation you deserve and get back on the road with Law Tigers.
First up in tonight's news, this comes in from Dealer News. Ride to Work Day. It's Ride to Work Day again, Mark. Ride to Work Day.
Not again.
Every day is Ride to Work Day.
I was going to say that.
Speaking of riding for a reason, the 30. Oh, here we go.
Blah,
Let me just start
Seriously?
this whole thing over. Look, Ride to Work Day. Speaking of riding for a reason, the 32nd annual Motorcycle and Scooter Ride to Work Day is set for Monday, June 19th. Every year, more than 1 million two-wheeled moto commuters demonstrate the benefits of riding, including reduced road congestion, shorter commute lines, more parking spaces, and less fuel consumption. In advance of this year's event, organizers are seeking the help of riders with community leaders.
Interesting.
Okay.
Every day should be Ride to Work Day.
Damn right.
Every day is Ride to Work Day.
Oh,
I
does
don't
Does that
understand.
mean that you need to bring a motorcycle in the house and ride down the stairs?
That'd be great. That's probably
just
been done here
Right?
before.
I'm just saying.
Also in from Dealer News, the third annual Nikki Hayden Ride Day at Oakley headquarters on June 9th. Come ride with us from Oakley. The tradition continues. We invite everyone to celebrate the legacy of the late Nikki Hayden to join us for the number 69 Miles for Nikki ride on Nikki Hayden Day, June 9th. Registration is open, and the first 50 to sign up will receive a free swag bag.
First 50.
I'm surprised they're not. Isn't Nikki from Kentucky?
He is.
I'm surprised they're not doing that in Kentucky. Just saying, like Kentucky Kid,
Well, the sponsor, where's the sponsor from? Where's Oakley from?
Lake
See.
Forest, California.
Probably got you there.
There you go.
Third story, also from Dealer News. Moto Movie Fest to be presented by Triumph.
Oh, boy.
I like this.
After nearly a decade of publishing inspiring stories and short films, it's time to turn
Something.
Let me try this again. Moto Movie Fest to be presented by Triumph. After nearly a decade of publishing inspiring stories and short films, it's time to turn the spotlight onto our fans and followers to showcase their creative talents, said Andrew Campo, co-founder and publisher, Vahana. We're excited to announce the first annual Vahana Motorcycle Film Fest in partnership with Triumph Motorcycles, 805 Beer, Revit, Danner, Bell, Rider Justice, Revzilla, and Moto TV. We truly appreciate the support of our incredible partners that have helped us bring this vision to life. We also want to thank our readers for allowing us to grow over the past decade and the opportunity to expand upon our storytelling platform. So you said you liked this right off the bat.
I do. I like anything that celebrates motorcycling and brings it around. You know what I mean? Because it's not just going to be one film festival. They're going to bring it to 6 cities. It's a 6-city tour starting in October.
6-city tour. Say that 3 times fast.
So Atlanta, Denver, Phoenix, LA, Portland, and Austin. So
Actually sing it like Gilligan's Island.
you don't want to hear me sing.
A 6-city tour.
There you go. So yeah, no, I like anything that celebrates motorcycling and the culture and whatnot behind it. So
This in from a
It's all about
this is just
timing,
funny.
Johnny.
It's not actually a
Meow.
news piece. I just thought it was
Henry
funny.
Winkler reveals he rode same bike as Steve McQueen in Happy
shut
Days,
your
only to
mouth.
crash it.
17 seconds. 17 seconds.
Hey.
Ooh.
Henry Winkler, best known for his role as Arthur the Fonz Fonzarelli on the iconic sitcom Happy Days, recently opened up about a memorial incident on the show's set involving his character's beloved motorcycle. Reflecting on the past, the 77-year-old actor recounted the 17 seconds that led to a crash, shedding light on
Shredding.
shedding light on the chaotic moment that left everyone in panic. During an appearance on the Jennifer Hudson show, Winkler candidly shared the details of the mishap. I rode it really for 17 seconds in the beginning. Going up the hill, that was it, he revealed. It was during a simple task of revving the motorcycle when Winkler's dyslexia played a role in the unfortunate turn of events. He confessed, and there was a moment I was on the bike, and all I had to do was rev it and move it 5 feet. I revved it. I'm so dyslexic, I had no idea where the brake was, where the gear
my
was,
God.
and I shot forward.
Dude. Oh.
Which was the bike?
I don't know. It doesn't say, but I just thought it was funny. He got to ride the bike for a whole
Oh,
17
Fonz's,
seconds.
this is it. So, look, I can't get to it.
Oh, real nice.
Fonz's Triumph was this exact bike. Get the hell out of here.
So the Steve McQueen bike was Fonzie's bike.
Wow, that's a trip.
That's awesome.
It's dumb anyway, because everyone knows the cool bike that Fonzie had was only
the
on the show
knucklehead.
for like
Like
2
a
minutes.
minute.
Right.
Yeah.
Like an episode. Because
And
it
it
was,
was the
what is
knucklehead.
like Too Tough?
Yeah, it was.
So-
they didn't like its personification.
Wow, who's
Sad.
dressing Fonzie these days?
He's
Dude,
77.
probably still- his
Listen,
mom.
that's besides the point. He's 77. Somebody be in charge of this man's wardrobe, for Christ's sake.
That is slightly unfortunate. The Fonz, dude.
Don't do that to him.
Yeah. Sad news today. Tina Turner passed away.
I know.
How sad. I can't believe she was 83 years old, though.
Oh, that Tina. Oh, that Tina Turner.
That was a life,
Hard life right there.
hard
yeah.
life. Hard
Dude,
life.
she had it rough.
Right?
Yeah, buddy.
Good old Ike, huh?
So hearts and prayers out to her.
Yes, sir.
Hey, we're going to get rocking because our guests are waiting for us here. But just to remind you guys, you're watching Shop Talk through the courtesy of the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. We're going to take a look.
Go ahead.
No, you had an aha moment.
Yes, you did.
You just set the whole thing off.
I think, this is going in a good enough direction that we can afford, like, a makeup crew to come in and fix Rudolph before the show.
Hey, let's call me names.
No, look at that. Like, it is, like, it's red.
Let's take a look at a quick feature bike and then get on with the show because Rudolph's got places to go. Here we go.
Out of Focus is brought to you by Garage Build. Submit your build, share your passion. Powered by Dennis Kirk.
I'm Flash from Bikers Against Bullies USA. We're based out of Missoula, Montana.
And I'm Kitty.
Well, the motorcycle, first of all, you're going to notice the color because not enough choppers are purple. And why did I do purple?
It's my favorite color.
Yeah, yep. So we did purple. I've never really done a bike that pays homage to my wife. And purple is her favorite color, so that's the way we wanted to go.
Yeah.
The whole idea behind this was 1972, right?
Yes.
And the neat thing about this, it's great to have friends, celebrity friends like Chris Callum and Heather Callan
and Heather
and Dave Perowitz and Paul Yaffe. So one of the things that stands out on this bike is that it's a great era-specific paint job. This frame and tins we sent over to Dave Perowitz in Boston. So the bike has actually gone farther by UPS than it has. I've actually ridden it.
That's true.
But he did an amazing job. Perowitz did a great job capturing the essence of what we were looking for. The bike itself is a New York Choppers hardtail frame. It's a 93-inch S&S shovel with a Baker 6x4 Franken tranny. It's kick only, soon to be kick only, and electric start. And that's really about it. We put the king-queen seat on so we can do a little bit of fun together, right?
Right.
And
Can't wait. And you're going to be back here.
Am I riding in the back this time? Awesome! So if you look down the road and you see the one beautiful blonde locks waving on the bench seat here, that's, you know, it's Flash. The most significant memory I have is wiring this bike on my own. And I took the time and I braided the lines and I made a couple phone calls. Paul Yaffe helped me with a couple of diagrams. And it's the first motorcycle I have wired in my life. And that was a pretty big deal for me, you know, and to know when it started and know that it was done right,
Yeah.
that was off the hook. What is your best memory, Kitty?
Just the camaraderie, and I don't even know. I can't even say it. It's overwhelming. I love it. It's just.
You know what? Yeah, I want to do my best memory.
Which was
My
not
best
that.
memory of this is literally, I've been having troubles getting the bike going. It was running like a clock yesterday morning. Tom Kiefer, Big Rick, Jason Mook, Chris Callan, Xavier, everybody literally is trying to help me. They know I'm more of a neophyte than they are. I don't have their skills. And literally everybody's had this hand on their bike to get it going on this throwdown. And for me, people say you don't bring your egos to this. Everybody brings their egos, but they just put them aside. And it's, you know, once you get here, you start realizing what the true beauty of this ride is, and that's just to be together.
That's it.
Hopefully that's the gayest thing I say today. As far as time going into this bike, I would say I've got probably close to 400 hours into this bike, something like that. This is the first chopper I've built in 42 years. I am 60 years old, and I actually built a Honda chopper back in high school.
So it's going to be my motorcycle, yes.
So I'm Flash.
And I'm Kitty.
And we're from Bikers Against Bullies USA. And you're watching ShopTalk.
The only thing standing between you and the open road is some garage time with the right parts and accessories to make your motorcycle roar. And that's why riders everywhere choose DennisKirk.com, the one stop you need to get your Harley back on the road. Our knowledgeable tech staff will help you navigate our more than 185,000 parts, apparel, and accessories that are ready to ship today, with free shipping on all orders over $89. So tune up your ride and get ready for the next adventure. Ride more, wait less. Dennis Kirk.
We're the Law Tigers, America's motorcycle lawyers. We understand the challenges riders face every day. As riders, we want to share the road and be seen by motorists. Remaining visible is critical to our safety and well-being. That's why we work tirelessly to promote motorcycle safety and awareness. We're proud to support our community that includes riders of all stripes. If you've been injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS or visit lawtigers.com. The Law Tigers, America's motorcycle lawyers.
Hey, I'm Ron Fleener,
All right.
Knoxville, Tennessee.
Okay, we dropped his
Please Color Factory, you're watching Shop Talk.
Renamed him.
All right, hey, welcome back to the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. You're watching Shop Talk, and we're rolling on into the hour. So, Flash and Kitty, huh?
I know. I love those two. I think he cut out the part where he was doing like the model pose.
Oh
and
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
They
We
just
have
kinda show
outtakes
that
from that.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
going to be a whole sizzle reel of the
outtakes.
bloopers from Chopper Friends Throwdown. Cause
Yep. Good people though.
so big news for us. As long as we're talking about news,
Are you ready?
I am.
Ready?
I am. I wish I had a drum roll loaded up, but I don't. So you guys know that throughout the 26-year history of CycleSource, we've been working on different pieces of technology and, always adapting to whatever came along. Every social media site that came up, when there was a MySpace, we had a CycleSource MySpace. Had a web page like Network 54 back in the days of the old message board forums. And for the last 3 years, we've been working on a project, and big thanks to Dennis Kirk, we're rolling out within the next 2 months, actually, we're going to be rolling out our brand new product, and it's called Grease and Gears TV.
So exciting.
So basically, like the elevator speech of this, when people say, what is Grease and Gears TV? I tell them that, it's Netflix for motorcycle stuff.
Yep.
So everything that you can imagine is going to be on this. And here's the deal. Up until this point, we have always put everything that we do everywhere, right? Like we put it all out for everyone. Well, you'll still see little bits and pieces, clips of stuff that we're doing, but by and large, for the large part of it, yeah, you're gonna have to see Grease and Gears TV to get what's going on, like the full videos, the full event coverage, all of that stuff. It's gonna happen.
Well, Chris, tell them where they'll be able to find Grease and Gears TV.
So that's one of the great things about it is you'll actually be able to go to your television, to Roku, hit the button on Roku, Grease and Gears TV, go through your Amazon Fire Stick, iOS devices, Android devices.
Yep.
You'll be able to go through that, but all of it powered by Dennis Kirk, and we just wanted to make sure we gave a great big thank you and hell yeah to them, because we've long wanted to see this thing come to fruition, and it's only because of them believing in us that we're going to be able to make it happen.
I think one of the greatest things about that is it's not going to be just CycleSource content. We've got some amazing contributors lined up that's going to be bringing you a whole host of programming, so it's going to be pretty rad.
We're currently looking for, like, especially in the end of like full-length feature stuff, if you have a motorcycle documentary, stuff like that, and you're looking for a home for it, we're looking for good content, but we're welcoming all content creators to make this,
contenters,
make this their home. Like Mark is going to be a content creator over there.
I've been a content
Is he just going to sit there
the
and
majority of my life.
like insults at people?
I could do that'd be so awesome. Now we can do what we're going to call the show.
Toss salad and brown gravy.
Oh no, that's the band that's going to play all the music. Now we can do our show where we sit in a couch and talk shit on people.
Oh,
it's gonna be awesome.
What the hell were we gonna call that?
I don't know. I can think of
Wise ass.
Wise
ass.
Dude, that'd be so.
Heather, that's
funny.
A great show.
It is, as long as they can't see your face.
Why not? Who cares?
And you have such a distinctive voice, because he's not allowed to actually say what he thinks.
Not like us. There are true professionals in this world. People who actually put forth a great effort and have fantastic results too.
Hey, nobody likes to show off, Chris. Nobody.
Well, some people do.
You know.
Some people do. And if you are not currently following along and participating in the feed that comes out of Five Dirty Bikers, what in the F is wrong with you, Johnny?
Right.
Because, God, they're funny.
Yes, they are.
They're really funny.
They make me want to do shit better.
I think you know what it is, like, we try to be professional, and we're just so not good at it. They're just like,
wait a minute.
Hey, I'm a fantastic asshole.
Mark is
pro.
professional. Look at that beard, dude. Yeah. Do you know how long he's worked on that beard?
I possibly could piss anybody off.
Possibly.
Yeah. You could piss the Pope off. I have no doubt about it.
Put me in the right group of people, it even gets worse.
Oh, no doubt about it.
All right, so without further ado, tonight's guest here on Shop Talk are members of the Five Dirty Bikers. And like I said, we're going to put up links and everything for you guys to go check them out. If you haven't already, you need to follow along with everything that they're doing. They're great. We have fun with them every time they're on the show. Let's get them on.
I think last time they were on, they were going to Uranus, weren't they?
Yeah, that was hot topic.
Yeah.
So let's get them on.
Just Hanging Out in the Shop is brought to you by Spectral Oils. Made in the USA since 1966, the best oil on planet Earth.
Five Dirty Bikers. Well, three.
3 or 5.
3.
3 or 5.
And we still reek of Uranus.
I was going to ask. I would like to get into your trip to Uranus.
It was long and hot.
And dark. Oh,
Right.
Lord.
All of those things are true.
We might want to stop that right here before we all get in trouble.
Well,
No, it was actually it was a great event, great place for it. It just, like we said, it was an ungodly hot that day. I think just the temperature itself was 105. Then you add the heat index with the humidity, and it was even worse because we were near the Ozarks, and we about had people stroking out.
Oh, jeepers.
Yeah.
Did you have to do mouth to mouth in
Hell,
Uranus? No.
sounds kind of shitty.
That's not going to cool you down, I can guarantee you.
But you might want to explain to everybody what you're talking about of Uranus here, because this is starting it deep.
My
Mark, I think
mother's going
since
to
we
be
talked
so
last,
disappointed in me.
Yeah, right?
Hey, Mark, I think since we talked last, there are actually 2 Uranuses now.
Oh, there are?
So they opened another Uranus in Indiana.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, let's be serious. They just discovered
Yeah, they found
another
another.
Uranus in Indiana. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
You
get
can
hate
travel
mail.
from one to the other now,
Yeah.
just like you never left Uranus.
Oh,
good
God.
Lord.
But the fudge is the same.
Yeah, it's all of us.
That-
Always the same.
You know, that was my favorite part about that whole thing for you guys. It was like just the amount of material, the amount of comedic material never stopped with that. Like to find a town with that kind of name, and then the town seemed like they took full advantage. They leveraged
my God,
everything.
yeah.
Hand-packed
Which-
fudge and
I have
Yeah.
to tell you, Hooker, Oklahoma could take
Disappointing.
some lessons. Very disappointing.
Yeah,
from
disappointing.
Hooker,
I have a
Oklahoma.
T-shirt now that says I have friends in Hooker, and like they don't
Oh, it actually says support your local
support your
hooker.
local hooker, but
But
that's
as
as far as they go.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
like
they missed the boat on everything.
So sad.
They
right,
should change the lyrics to that one song to "Stand on the Corner of Hooker, Oklahoma."
right.
Oh, Chris,
Yeah, they get.
that's going to be your new Tiger King thing.
Oh, boy.
No, there is no revisiting Tiger King unless we revisit
come
COVID.
on.
No, sorry.
Another cyber rally?
No.
So you guys, let's talk about for a minute where does 5 Dirty Bikers come from? Take us all the way back to the beginning of this.
Ryan, I'm going to let you take the reins on this.
Wow. Okay, so 5 Dirty Bikers, kind of the inception of the whole thing was a group chat that was put together a long time ago about 5 of us that just kind of met over social media. And we all had YouTube channels, and we all kind of came from riding Sportsters. And we started a group chat, and the group chat was just us kind of giving each other shit. And it was really brought together by somebody just kind of said, hey, this is kind of gold. We should start a podcast. And so that's really kind of the inception of it. We started a podcast, and we recorded about 4 or 5 episodes, and they were absolute dog shit. And I
know nothing
promise you,
about
like,
that.
the first 2 episodes, I bet you it took us 4 or 5 hours to record, and we got like 30 minutes of usable information. I mean, it was terrible. They were so bad, and we didn't put them out, and so it took us a little while to find our groove, and then we got into it, and we've had a couple of lineup changes, which has been, kind of growing pains in a podcast. And that's kind of was the inception. It's there isn't really much more to it than that. And it's been a wild ride. We started this in 2019. We almost don't miss a single week. We take a couple vacations a year. We're going to have a couple weeks off coming up here this week, actually, and over the Memorial Day weekend. We'll have some time off, but really the idea for us has been to be as consistent as we can, and just to get out and talk about motorcycle shit. We love the community. We all love motorcycles, and I heard somebody say one time that when you get into the motorcycle industry, and I think that we used to exist, I think, on the periphery, and I think you could say that we're probably a part of it now. And when you get in, you have to decide to put something back on the table, right? Too many people just take things off the table and they never put anything back on the table. And so this is kind of what we try to do to put something back on the table in the industry, is to put this podcast out there to remind people that motorcycling is supposed to be fun and not take yourself so serious all the time. Because that happens way too much, right? Everybody,
especially especially for people who get far into the industry. That's one of my most common observations is once people are doing this for a while, they forget to see it from street level. And all the time I'm watching you guys, like that's one of your best features. You never lose that street level connection.
Oh, I appreciate that. We really work hard to try to not take any of this shit for granted, and certainly not take each other for seriously. I mean, we constantly give each other shit, and I think that's part of what really makes it a lot of fun is we truly are good friends, and it makes for an enjoyable time because we look forward to hanging out every week and just talking about this thing that we love so much, which is motorcycles, and how much fun it actually is, and bringing people in, and providing maybe an opportunity or a place for people to land that maybe don't feel like they have a place in other places within the industry, and find a community amongst us. And so that's kind of what we like to do. And I really appreciate, coming from you and how long you've been doing it, that you see, you kind of get it. You kind of get what we're trying to do. And that means a lot. I really thank you for that.
Right on. And that, I mean, even to what you just said there, we were at TMMR this weekend. A bunch of us were sitting around, and like one of the younger builders was like, oh, it's just so awesome to be here and blah, blah, blah. And, and hyping up the whole thing. And I said, hey, look, it's cool. He said something about himself. I'm just a dork that has a motorcycle habit or something. I was like, and that's how we all got here. We all got to motorcycling because we didn't fit anywhere else. We were oddballs. And I mean, God, look at Mark.
Right. I didn't even fit in motorcycling. Probably the cool thing about what you said, though, that really hits home for us is none of us take ourselves seriously.
No.
You know what I mean? And I think sometimes people come into this and, like Chris said, oh, I'm just a dork, builds motorcycles. Yeah, one day that dork ends up thinking he's God's gift to motorcycles, and, all because he did something really cool, and it sucks.
Once.
Getting the notoriety, getting the fame, whatever you want to call the people following you and stuff like that. You guys haven't changed. You're still silly. I mean, like us. But you did say one thing. You said you're all friends. We all hate each other.
Despise.
So we can't even stand being in the same room together.
Like, I hope Mark lives till he's 200.
Yeah. And I hope I hope Heather stays married to Chris forever. So. No, but like seriously, I think that friendship, that little stupidity. Because, dude, there's days we go to do this show, and like obviously Chris isn't talking to Heather, or I'm mad at Chris, or something. Shit's hitting the fan, and then that camera turns on, and we're like, dude, we have to. You have to be
ball
funny.
busting, you know. Right? I mean, like once, and that's one of the biggest parts of it. Like knowing somebody so well that you can just bust their balls and into submission, and it's okay.
You have to like break that. You have to break the cycle, but Chris says this all the time, and I think I have to kind of agree with him. We go out and do this stuff, and we wait for that moment where somebody says, "Hey, you're not actually supposed to be here."
Right? Yeah, like they let the wrong door open.
Right.
And we were so used to never being. I mean, this is years back. Like nobody wanted us anywhere. You know what I mean?
Geez,
we weren't invited, or if we got there, they sort of monitored us the whole time.
If anybody knew you back then, do you actually wonder why that was the case?
It was his fault. He
so
did it.
I have a question for you guys. Like, out of the archives of everything that you've done, what is that moment that stands out that for each one of you individually, or if maybe you guys have a group consensus of. This was the perfect moment. This was the perfect show or the perfect guest. What was that moment for you?
Brittany, go ahead and start.
Oh, geez.
I'm gonna have to think about this one. That's a great question.
That's a hard question.
He told you that like he was doing you a favor.
Yeah, I have only been on the show for a year, and gosh, I feel like we've had a lot of episodes that just went really good. The one that popped to mind right away for me was when we talked with Jace from Fast Life, and then also Dad and Mad. Like, I think those are two of my favorite episodes.
Ryan, you want to chime in?
I think for me it's more of a culmination of things. I think Well, just to give you an example, we just planned a ride to go down to see Dustin, and every week now I keep getting messages from people all over the country that want to join us and come down. And I think realizing that we've built a community of like-minded people that have gravitated towards something that was just us sending text messages back and forth.
Yeah.
It's this really weird, humbling moment. I was at Mama Tried this year. I've gone to 3 of them, and I was at Mama Tried. And if you've ever been to the flat track racing at Mama Tried, I was walking. I got like 4th row seats, and I was walking up, and somebody screamed in the crowd, "Hey, I love your show." And I looked up, and I had no idea who screamed, and I just kind of put my hand up, and I was like, "Thanks, man. I don't know who it was." And that was this weird moment of realizing that I'd done something that was out there in the community that people were connecting with. And that, for me, reminded me, too, to do what you guys say we're doing, which is try to remain true to what we've been trying to do the whole time, which was, to make it feel like it's a conversation that everybody's invited to join.
Yeah.
And so that was probably one of the biggest moments, I think, for me, that really like solidified the idea that we were out there, and not that that you crave validation, but I think knowing more so that people were connecting with it was really that aha moment. And so, like, we have times when we think we've recorded a show and it sucks, and then all of a sudden somebody will send us a message over Discord or something, and they connected to something that we said, and then you're doing the right thing. And so that was probably it for me, the Mama Tried moment, I think, probably this last year. And more so probably because I never got to like see or acknowledge who the person was. It was just like this voice that came out of the ether, and that was pretty humbling.
Oh, that's great. And that's part of what has to be said about you guys too, is that community approach. I really appreciate that. The one thing I hate seeing is you'll see people roll into this, and all of a sudden they're this huge presence on social media or whatever form of media, if they have a show or something that they're pitching, and you don't see them get involved with the community. That's something like, whether you guys are planning rides or going to this stuff and participating. I mean, you can do a lot of that work from afar with today's technology, but you find ways to super get involved. And I mean, that brings us up to the topic tonight, the Sportster Build for Autism.
Yeah, this is one of the moments that really sticks out to me, was when we finally unveiled this bike back in March. That just showed us, because we had so many people supporting this build that, came from an idea, almost 2 years ago, and getting to actually see it unveiled, live on YouTube, right there. My son and Jared Weems' son getting to unveil it was just, it was a big moment for me, especially. I know it was a big moment for all of us because we had worked so hard to make this thing a reality, and Jared did too. But I mean, this is it. This is what's been. I would say it's been one of the most rewarding things we've been able to do, because, like Ryan said, you want to be able to give back, and this is one of the things that we've been able to do because of the community.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that's part of the most important part of all of this is to give back. Like you said, you're opening up a forum for people to jump in and be a part of it. So somewhere along the line, the more you give, the more you're going to get in return. So the more people are going to pay attention, more people are going to, hear your name. That could be super important,
Absolutely.
So let's go back to the beginning of where this story starts. Explain to people what this bike is, what the project was.
Well, the project is the Five Dirty Bikers Sportster Build for Autism. It's a collaboration with Weems Motor Company. This idea came from a dinner we had. Jared was visiting Louisville during our Five Dirty Bikers meetup, and we got to see some of his bikes. one of which is also in the David Mann painting that this is inspired from. But getting to see Jared's work firsthand was jaw-dropping and inspiring, just everything you could think creatively that could be said. I mean, his work is it. And I asked Ryan and Tony at the time, do you think Jared would bite on an idea? Because I know that Jared's a father of a son on the autism spectrum, and so am I. And we've had several conversations before this, just about being dads and our experiences and everything. But I asked Jared, pulled him aside at dinner one night at the event and said, would you want to, help us build a bike for this cause? And it didn't take a whole lot of convincing, and Jared was on board. And then, we weren't sure if he was going to say yes, because we know he's a busy guy. He's a well-renowned builder. He's been doing shows all over the country. So we're like, I'm just going to take my shot. Like Wayne Gretzky says, you can only, whatever Wayne Gretzky said, I got a great part right now. You guys know the thing. But you miss, what is it? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
So maybe it was the beer. I don't know what it was, but I got up the liquid courage to ask Jared about this, and he bid on it, and then we were kind of like, oh shit.
Now what
this
are we
is
going to
happening.
do?
Now we got to do this. Now we got to do this. Yeah.
When for anybody out there that might think a project like this is the quick means to an end to increase your brand or your following or anything like that. This is a pile of work from beginning to end. It's a pile of work, and you have to be like, you guys have that personal investment in it right off of the rip. But again, it speaks to your commitment to the community too. So give you mad props for that. Making Jared part of it that's a beautiful thing, and congratulations on that.
Tell us.
Yeah, it takes
I'm sorry.
the intestinal fortitude to do something like this, and in the amount of conversations back and forth, and all the things that you don't know. I mean, I'll be the first one to admit, we were incredibly naive about the entire process and what it takes, and I want to go on record and say this: it is entirely too difficult to give away something to charity.
Right?
No shit.
Oh yeah.
I mean, hey, man. if there's any time that you want to take a ball peen hammer to a politician's ball sack, it's because of this very thing. I mean, all we're trying to do is to do something good, and it is extraordinarily difficult. And then you try to do something good, and they still want to bend you over a countertop and put one to you.
They want their piece.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And so, I mean, it's more difficult than it should be. Let me just say that.
Yep.
No, and isn't that a funny thing? Like in a time where the world needs more connectivity, where we need to find better ways to help each other, unless the federal government is involved. And this is not meant to get into politics, but the truth is, if you get them involved, they'll find a way to give things away for you.
Yes, they will.
But
your things away
yeah.
for you. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they'll give away your house and your car and everything else that you own. Is what they'll give away
To cover their own ass. That's the sad.
It's some straight bullshit. But that's I think that was probably the most frustrating part, is how difficult it is to kind of get the stars aligned to do that. And it is absolutely a testament to the community, to the number of companies and organizations and people that stepped up, that were willing to put their goods and services and name on a project like this, which was, again, I think super humbling, of all the people that we were able to get involved, and that Jared was able to get involved.
Yeah, it was mind blowing, because we had the 75 Ironhead totally donated to us.
That's
incredible. It was sitting in some guy's garage up by Chicago, and he messaged me via Facebook and said, I heard you're looking for a Sportster, because we landed on Sportster. We did like an NCAA style bracket and had our Discord members kind of vote on whatever style of bike we were going to do. We had everything from Cholo to dirt bike, ADV. Well, it was going to be a Sportster no matter what. But this guy messaged me and said, I know what this is going for. Please take the bike.
Wow.
It didn't, we offered him money for it. He wouldn't take it. He said it's for the cause.
That's
and
incredible.
I'm going to shout him out, even though he didn't want to be named. His name is Fernando Palacios. He lives up by Chicagoland. So if you're watching again, Fernando, thank you very much for your contribution to the project. It means a ton. And like we said, this thing was sitting in a shed or a garage, hadn't been started in what, Ryan? What do you say, 20 years? Something
20
like that?
years, yeah. And Jared had it running in 3 hours.
Yeah, from the time he took delivery, him and a friend, I can't remember the guy's name because I want to give him credit as well. But they had it running, in 3 hours from the time that they took delivery and got their hands on it. So it shows you what kind of person Jared is as far as how he does with his hands.
And it's people like Fernando who donated the bike that just confirm that you're doing the right thing, and there still are good people out there.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know about you guys, but there's a lot of days where I wonder about that. Like, where did all the good ones go? And then just at that moment that you need it, he shows up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Speaking of Uranus,
Story time.
One of the things I want to bring up is looking over the stuff that you have on the page for this. It's great. It's a killer bike. Weems is absolutely one of the most talented guys out there. But the stats that are here, man, 1 in 44 children in the United States are given an autism diagnosis, a 241% increase since the year 2000.
And Chris, those numbers have actually gone up on a recent study from 2020 data that they just released. The CDC just said it's now 1 in 36.
Wow.
Yeah, I have a really good friend.
That's actually out of date. Yeah,
I have a really good friend, Scott Bailey's his name. He's a local cop, and they have 2 sons. Him and Tina have 2 sons. And they both have autism. And Scott has traveled all over the country to every police department possible to teach police departments how to react to, people with autism. And like, dude, he's won awards. He's been, Evan Favaro, that's another one. This is like super close to him. This touches so many people. And you question if some of them don't even realize that that's what it is,
Well, and here's my thing, like, and not to get into politics or anything like that, but when you have that much of a significant increase in that short of a time, something has got to be done. Something's got to be done. Like, something is wrong. There is something causing, and you can't tell me that it's just, well, people are more aware and blah, blah. No, BS. There is something that is like something significant, whether it be in the growth hormones or the crap they put in the food.
We were just watching something the other day, a few days ago, one of the guys I work with, they're questioning his daughter. And they did a study. They took 200 kids, 200 they gave a certain diet to. The other 200 they let eat McDonald's, all kinds of stuff. Significant difference between the two at the end of this study. Like, you're right, Heather. I mean, it has to be, whether it's the environment or what they eat, where what they're being taught.
Things like this have got to be a more prevalent issue in the world. Like, the stuff they spend money on is ridiculous, but this is something that I want to see them address.
Humanitarian concerns, absolutely. Absolutely.
I couldn't word.
I saw you struggling there a little bit, honey. I help you out.
Sorry, thank you. Sometimes I just can't word.
Adulting is hard. Words are hard.
Adulting is hard. They are. It's very hard.
Oh, well.
And there's been so many people that have reached out just to say thank you. I mean, whether they bought tickets for the bike or not. And one of the things I could think of right away, and this was actually way before this project, because my family's been doing walks and stuff to raise money for autism and everything. But one of the things I received, and I don't think I've even shown the other 2 dirty bikers here, that is, I received these from the New York City Police Department.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They got wind of some stuff I was doing, but it's just nice that the message can get out there, and there's so many people dealing with this that they know what you're going through, and they're just so appreciative of the work that you do for stuff like this. It's awesome. It's humbling, and like I said, it's another one of those things that we do as motorcycle enthusiasts, bikers, whatever you want to call us, that makes this community so special.
I prefer members of the Island of Misfit Toys.
That's what I was thinking of earlier.
But
honestly,
I want to
be a dentist.
Honestly, Herbie wants to be a dentist. But that's seriously, like, going back to that, man. I mean, when you find, I say all the time how motorcycles saved my life, because I grew up in a really, really shitty environment. But when I found my place in this community, that's what prompted me to want to do things, want to give back, and wanted to, and how it must really feel good for you guys to have opportunities to do something like this, with something like you said started out as just a, hey, let's get together and fuck around with this, but now, there's things that you've really touched other people, and I don't even mean just with the autism bike and things like that, but when someone comes up to you and tells you that something that you're doing makes a difference, that is something very few people will ever get out of their life.
Yeah, you're right. You're totally right.
So, excuse me, the raffle goes until September 16th at 1 o'clock, and you're doing a meetup and announcing the winner that day. So you're going to take tickets right up until the absolute last minute, right?
I think that's how we got it worked out. And yeah, we got it worked out to where I believe the winning ticket's going to be drawn in Florida for, for legal reasons and everything like that. But yeah, it's going to be a fun event to be able to, have everybody together. We've got people that have come to this event each and every year, repeat guests, repeat comers, whatever you want to call them, that have been so supported that we know are going to be there again. So hoping that we have a bigger crowd than last year. I mean, last year we doubled the crowd from the year before, so hopefully we can do that again, and even make that last effort, the last weekend before this bike is going to a new home to raise money for this cause.
That's outstanding.
Oh, listen, I'm gonna speak direct and plainly, you dirty bastards and bastardettes that are watching this. Take some money, go to the page. We're gonna put the link up here. Go to the page. Get some tickets, get more than you need.
Yeah, it's $25 a ticket. Like, seriously, I mean, don't be cheap. Skip a couple lattes. Skip a couple beers. It won't kill you.
Hey,
I
lattes
promise.
aren't cheap either.
No,
so
right?
You can skip a few and get a ticket.
If you're drinking a $25 latte, you need to reevaluate some things in your life anyway.
And again, back to Mark.
Right. Hey.
Mark's Mr. $25 latte.
Mark is a fancy latte.
I'm
he would
a-
like
well-
a frozen caramel macchiato.
Oh, dude, I'll take that any day. I guess it's better than crack cocaine, though.
It's not a lot cheaper anymore.
No,
I don't
it
know.
is not. Well, they say it's easier to, do crack and run somewhere than it is to put gas in your car and have to fix it and pay for the fuel. So, yeah, it's odd to be able to, to finally find something to give back, and then you almost feel like when you're done that wasn't enough. You got to find a way to do more.
That's how I felt after Tankful last year.
Yeah.
And I have to admit, I was really pleased with how the project went, and at the end of the day, being able to write the checks that I did. But initially, Mark, I have to tell you, I was so disappointed I didn't hit my goal, and then I brought it all into perspective, and I was thrilled. Like, I couldn't have complained. It was the first time doing it.
Where are you guys at with that? Did you have a goal in mind starting out with this? Are you happy with where it's at so far?
That's a great question. I don't know. I mean, I think that our goal is as much as we can do, right? And so I think if you were to ask all five of us, we probably all have a different number that we think we're going to be able to do. So that it's we kind of paced ourselves for what we thought we would sell per day, per week, per month, and to get it to a certain dollar amount. And we're going to keep all that on the down low, the dollar amounts and everything, because we want to be able to, we don't want anybody to be disappointed in what we did. And we want to be able to be proud of the accomplishment and to be able to go out and do something like this. And not every day do you get an opportunity to do something as great as to give back to a charity, and to give back to a charity that affects so many lives and so many children across our country, and then these children become adults, and so it's not just the children, it's people, and they're based on Dustin's statistics. If you think about that, we all are probably with and around and encountering people every single day that are working through things in their lives from the autism spectrum. And I think that when you look at the idea of that, and to be able to give back, I mean, just, we're just five assholes that ride motorcycles, and we have this opportunity to give back, and it feels, giving is always better than receiving, right? And you don't get that when you're a kid, but when you become an adult, that becomes so important to be able to give back. So to be of service is probably the most noble thing that you can do.
Right on. So Heather.
Yes.
As to our conversation about the sandwich earlier, see what he said about giving is better than receiving. I'm just trying to say, help a brother out.
Trying to square the conversation up here.
Well, listen, what's the rest of the year look like for you guys? Because lots of stuff going on. We want to make sure we're passing good information. You want to head up 5dirtybikers.com for sure. You guys have everything happening up here. That's where to go get hooked up with 5 Dirty Bikers. But what's the rest of the year? What do you have beyond this event?
Well, I know, like Ryan said earlier, we got a group ride planned down here. I think we're up to what, Ryan, now a dozen?
Yeah, I think so.
And I told everybody I was going to be grilling ribeyes for everybody. I'm going to have to start ordering pizzas instead.
You can't back out on that deal, though. You're sort of screwed.
So I live right on Route 66 and by the Mississippi River, so there's lots of good riding around here. So that's something we've got planned, as some of us as a group are going to do. Ryan, do you want to let them know about July?
Well, in July is when we're going to be going down to see Dustin, and that's I believe over the weekend of the 15th of July is when we're going to Illinois to see Dustin, and then 5 Dirty Bikers first. We are going to be at the Iron Horse Inn in Whitewood, South Dakota, in Sturgis this year.
Oh, right on.
So there's going to be at least 2 of us, possibly more. We don't know yet, but for sure, myself and Dave have committed to being there. We're going to broadcast live every night from location, either in the bar there or the hotel somewhere. We haven't really figured that out. I'm going down there in June to figure out some of the logistics, but we have the owners, it's a family owned and operated hotel motel, and one of the owners, the owner's husband reached out to us as a listener of the podcast and said, what would you guys think about coming down? And so we'll be there the first weekend. And I've ridden in South Dakota many times. I don't intend on riding is not the reason to go down there. I'm going down there to take in Sturgis. I've never been. I only live 650 miles away. And so, and we thought it'd be just a great opportunity. And it's going to be kind of the last push for this bike, right? It'll be about a month before the giveaway. And so we're going to, like I said, broadcast live every night and hopefully bring people on from the area, bring people, some of our other members of the podcast that can't make it out that can come on for the live broadcast. So we'll be doing that. We'll be there the 4th through the 7th.
Well, listen,
in August.
Off air, let's get hooked up on that, because we have a lot of support from the guys from the Iron Horse on Lizelle, the Steel Pony Campground. But if you guys are going to be in town, let's make sure that at one time or another we'll get you hooked up with something there to make sure that you have an opportunity to go up on stage, give the bike one more push. I'm sure Carrie and Scott and everybody will let something like that go on. We can squeeze you in to get a nice push from that stage too.
Oh, that would be amazing. That sounds great. Yeah. So
we can make that
happen.
We
really appreciate that. Yeah, we'll talk more about that. And then our event, Dustin, do you want to talk about what our event is going to be in Kentucky?
Well, I'm going to let Brittany chime in a little bit. How about you?
Well, there you go.
All know, Brittany.
Yeah, I'm kind of quiet over here, huh? So in September, we will have our event in Louisville, Kentucky. I believe it's going to be at Bluegrass Harley Davidson. And as we already said, we'll do the bike, like the drawing and the giveaway for that, and then kind of the usual shenanigans from all our other meetup events.
Yeah, we'll probably do a group ride, and hopefully there's a hot dog cart there that we can eat hot dogs in celebration of the bike raffle and all that stuff. And
maybe pass around some wiener water. Who knows? we do need to clarify this so people understand how this is going to work for this giveaway. this is where things get complicated. The giveaway portion, the drawing and giveaway will be a live remote event. The bike will be in Louisville. We will all be in Louisville, but the person drawing and giving away the bike will be in Florida.
Okay.
So, so that's that has to do with all the legal mumbo jumbo that goes along with that. So they'll be doing that part of it remote, and that's also, we want to make sure that people understand that we're not going to draw a name out of a hat, right? It's all in an electronic system that a name's going to be drawn from that way. So.
Yeah.
And if I could, we'd also want to name out and thank all of our sponsors that have contributed to the bill, because we've had a ton of them.
Yeah, please do.
Just to know that some of the people that were behind this that actually wanted to contribute and help, give up either time, parts, their services, discount their services for us. It's been just tremendous and huge. I mean, of course, you got Jared Weems, who's been the guy. He's been the man, the man behind the madness, putting this bike together, him and his son. Then you got Blockhead Garage, who did a lot of work on the engine, S&S Cycle, Lowbrow Customs, TC Brothers, and those two right there, they don't do a bunch of work together. Because they're competitors. Engine Armor Coatings. God, who am I missing? Milkbone Customs, who did the paint job, who did a beautiful job on that paint. Man,
Chop Docks,
Prism
Supply,
There you go.
Throttle Addiction, F&A Customs, and Engine Armor. Those are the ones that we missed. So
that's great to have such a support.
Yeah, I mean, like they say, it takes a village to raise a child on the spectrum. So is the same for this bike. It's been almost like raising an autism child almost, because you need that village, you need that support to be able to help you make that individual successful.
Yes, sir. Motorcycle people are the best. The best.
Yeah. We can't forget our Patreon members and everybody in our Discord who've also contributed as well. They've been our backbone, our support, our everything that's gotten us through this whole situation. They're a big part of that too, so I wanted to shout them out as well.
Yeah, we couldn't do it without the Patreon.
Yeah, definitely.
Right on, man.
That's
so
awesome.
tell everybody where they can keep track of everything. I mean, obviously you guys have the whole social media game going on, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We're going to put all those links up. But explain to everybody about the Patreon. How do we get them hooked up with that?
Ryan, you want to
Yeah, so our Patreon, you can access it through our website. So just go to www.5wbikers.com. On our Patreon, there's 4 different levels if you want to support what we do at the 5W Bikers podcast, all the way from buy us a cup of coffee to really feeling like you want to contribute monthly. We have, various different tiers from $2 all the way up to $25, and it's monthly, and there's different perks. It's all explained kind of in Patreon what each level gives you. Certainly there's a portion of it that I think the most value comes from the people who get back, kind of what we call the backstage pass, where they once a month we bring them on and we do like 30 minutes of where they just get to banter and talk to us backstage before we go live. And I will tell you that almost to a single person of those people, that they've all become friends. And these are people that show up almost every single time that we have events, that end up riding with us, showing up places, driving across the country. I just got hit up by one of our patron members, longtime friend of our podcast and all of us. His name's Matt. He lives actually out on the East Coast by Dave, and he was like, "Hey, can I get the number for the hotel? I'm going to meet you guys in Sturgis." So he just messaged me today and said, I'm like, "Yeah, call Andy. She'll get you hooked up." And so it's so humbling, and it was so weird, Chris. I have to tell you this. I was the chopper thing just kind of jumped into my head because you're flashing through Instagram, and I was just scrolling through Instagram, and I saw your face, and I stopped, and you were cleaning your bike, talking about bringing it to the show this weekend, and you were cleaning a chopper, and I thought to myself, man, I didn't even put my hands on this bike, and I just have 1/8 of the feeling of what it's like when you get out there and build these bikes, and it gives me, I have a whole new level of respect for the builders and the guys that are putting their hands on the motorcycles. And I think I like to think that I can do a few things on a bike, and it's nothing like building a chopper, let me tell you.
Oh, you know what, man? It really is. But I have to say, like, I actually wrote an editorial this month in this month's magazine about that. Anything that you do with that bike from the time you get it, if you work your skills up to eventually you build everything on the motorcycle, any single part of it gives you that. That's what became so addictive for me over the years was, changing things up. And this year, instead of running Fat Bobs, I'm going to run a Frisco tank, and changing from a narrow glide to a wide glide, or a low rider fender to a bobtail fender. Like those are all the parts that make all of this so cool. Sitting in a garage dreaming about stuff to do to a motorcycle. So the building thing is absolutely cool, but it's the idea of being part of that, like you were just talking about. That's the coolest thing. It's just watching ideas come to fruition, watching that thing develop. It's really one of the most magical things about being involved in motorcycles.
Well, and what you guys do, it's like it's inspiring to others too. So not only is it rewarding for you, but on top of that, think of how many people out there in the world are seeing these different bike builds, and it's inspiring them to get into the industry.
Absolutely.
Especially the young ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so cool too, because I always felt like choppers. I always looked at them from a distance, and I never really got the opportunity to be a part of it or whatever. And the unique thing for me that I will never forget about this is that I've ridden one chopper in my life, and you guys have all seen it.
Yeah.
I was the first one of us on the 530 Bikers podcast to ride that bike. I rode it out of Tony's garage and down the street, and
don't let him fool you. He was scared shitless.
I was completely scared shitless because I walked up behind the bike and walked over it, right? Because I'm 6'3" and it's pretty small. And I kind of sat down and I sat on it for a while. And there's these pictures of me just sitting on it in the garage. And I was like, fuck it. And I just turned it on. And Jared said, his favorite thing is when he builds a chopper to have other people ride it. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And so I started it up and took it off. Yeah, I got about a block before the bike stalled because, I'm an idiot and I've never ridden a chopper before, and I didn't turn the fuel on.
Hey man, listen,
You're
the
not
fuel,
the first one that's happened to.
the fuel thing works the same way on a chopper or a stock bike.
Yeah,
so
it doesn't
that's
matter.
that's.
It's a thought.
So-
But listen, I'm gonna let you in on something. So that bike that I was in the video today, that was my Chopper Friends bike that we build all these bikes, and everybody goes to Winslow and we ride down through the canyon. And that being scared shitless, that was my first scratch-built frame. So there we are in the parking lot in Winslow, Arizona, getting ready to go on this 200-mile ride. And Michael Lichter's there, and he's giving everybody instructions. And I tell my buddy Tom, I'm like, look, I'm going to pull out ahead. Like, this is a fresh motor and everything else. But really in my head, I'm thinking, this is my first scratch-built frame. If this fucking frame is going to break in half and I'm going to end up on my ass, I'm not doing it while Michael Lichter's taking my picture. I want that to happen privately.
And it was a 180-mile ride, and there was some rough, that was a rough ride for you guys. It was cold. There was snow. It was a rough ride.
But yeah, that scared shitless. That's a real thing.
I'm okay to know that feeling, like, that may never go away.
Oh yeah,
it'd be perfect.
Hope that it doesn't. Hope that it doesn't.
One of the most thrilling things about custom building something is that shakedown ride. I mean,
holy shit, it works.
Yeah, I mean, dude, you get on that. I mean, not only for the stuff that we've done, working with Pat at Lead Sled. Man, we used to sort of argue on who got to run that thing up and down Upper Valley Road the first time. And,
right.
You'd go by the first time all like nervous. The second time you're going by at 120 mile an hour, like, yeah, fuck it, I got this, But it's super cool. That feeling is awesome. I compare to building the bike like when you have a toothache and you go to the dentist. And after it's all done, you're out there cleaning it. You're remembering the toothache you had through the build because it's so difficult and it's so painful, but there's so much reward at the end of it. You know, like to step back and look at some of the shit that we've done. It's like, dude,
and you guys,
or if you're married to Chris, you have scars to remember it by.
Right.
You guys are gonna have this memory forever now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the most beautiful
Yeah.
part about it, man. The,
awesome.
the bikes come and go, and like, well, for other people they do. Don't start, Heather. But
yeah, it's such a crazy thing too, because that motorcycles do. It's been this super weird roller coaster year for me too. On top of riding my first chopper, you guys have had your FXR Friends builds too that I've seen and followed, and one of the things for me is my mom sent me this picture, and I knew that motorcycles were always a part of my past, and I'd been on motorcycles since I was 8 years old. But, you know, I didn't really know what all that meant. She sent me this picture. The very first motorcycle that I was ever on, that I rode thousands and thousands of miles on, was a 1985 FXRT that my mom's second husband bought brand new.
wow.
And that was the first bike that I ever rode on. This year, a buddy of mine sent me a picture of a pulled back motorcycle cover. He goes, I thought I would show you something that you might want to look at. And he sent me this picture, and it was a 1985 FXRT that was for sale.
Oh.
So good.
And it's sitting in my garage now.
There you
Nice.
go,
That's
my
awesome.
man.
So,
That's awesome.
and I will tell you, I don't know a damn thing about it, but I'm so excited to dig in as deep as I can. So
That's the great thing, man. I mean, once you, I hope I never learn everything there is about it. Like the learning and the
Well,
the
you
mystery
learn
of
something
that.
every time you do
Yeah,
something.
Yep.
that's the greatest part of it.
And even as you're doing it, like I watch you build motorcycles, and as you're doing it, you'll get through it and you'll finish a part and you're super happy with it. And then all of a sudden you'll be like, next time I want to try this.
If you can stop them from changing it halfway through.
I'm just priming the pump. That's what that's called. Is I want to make sure I'm laying the groundwork for the next time I build a bike.
And then sometimes that's even the coolest part, like, you know, the side covers for War Pony, like when he had an idea, and just to take that metal and the two of us beating it off the anvil, off the, you know what I mean? And then it turned out to be something super cool to where he actually mimicked it again for another bike. And, you know, most people be like, oh, take this, go stamp it, get it done. He did it by hand. He did pretty much the same thing that
fun shit, man.
I did by hand, and we mimicked each other.
We're so lucky. So listen, man, congratulations to you guys. I want to definitely stay in touch. Let's get hooked up for Sturgis, and like I was telling everybody earlier, please get out, get those tickets. Go support this stuff. It's good stuff that they're doing, but more importantly, make sure you're following along with them. But you will not be disappointed spending time with 5 Dirty Bikers.
Well, thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. It's good to speak with you guys again, and keep kicking ass and do what you're doing, because we love the content.
Oh, we're going to try. We're going to try.
All right, man. Well, we'll see you in South Dakota.
Absolutely, for sure.
All right.
See you guys.
Be safe, guys.
All right, so hey, you're watching Shop Talk here on the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio Network, and we're going to take a quick break. When we come back on the other side, we got more show. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Shop Talk. Okay, welcome back to the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. You're watching Shop Talk here on the Cycle Source Magazine Network. Every Sunday, 9 p.m., we go live with this program, and, you know, it's the whole deal, man. It's two-wheeled entertainment, the best we can manage to put it together, scoop all this shit into a bag, drop it off on the doorstep Sunday night, and that's what it is.
You're stepping on it. Oh, boy.
Hope it ain't on fire when you come out.
We have good
That's all.
intentions.
We
though.
do. We have
good
that's
intentions.
what they say. And the road to hell is... Jeez. Oh, you're killing me.
That's why the
You're
pen
killing
you
me.
keep giving me doesn't have any ink in it.
Are we doing events tonight, or what's going on?
Events?
Sure. Do you think you...
We're doing an event?
We can do events.
So let's move on to that before you say something else denigrating about men who are married, and me specifically.
Oh, you stop.
The Shop Talk events calendar is brought to you by the Bikers Info app, the Everything Bikers app, all in one place, everything you need, and it's free.
All right, River City Tattoo Expo and River City Bike Expo, double header there down in Owensboro, Kentucky. You can go to rivercitybikeexpo.com for more information, but that's taking place June 2nd and 3rd. Saturday, June 10th, Low Life Lowdown Chopper Show in Epping, New Hampshire. So if you're headed up to Laconia Bike Week, this is where all the cool kids are going to be. Go ahead, Chris, you got to do it. Do your thing.
Born Free.
June 24th and 25th. Born Free motorcycleshow.com for more information. Sorry, I just had a little brain cramp there. You know, the only reason I wish I was going to that is so I could see Sean Jackson's bike.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
so impressed with that kid.
And then he put a regular kicker on it too. And then what's worse than that? Did you see that?
Worse or better?
Well, it's just like you wonder how far everybody's going to take all this stuff. I saw a video today where a guy came up with another even kind of as cool a way to start a motorcycle with a shotgun shell.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
GTFO.
And it's one
You
of the
gotta show me that.
one of the Born Free bikes also, and like maybe I'll try
Does he
to
actually
dig it
have
up.
to like shoot it?
Yeah. I'll dig up the
Okay,
video
I
real
gotta
quick
see
while
that.
you're doing the
Okay,
events.
because I don't believe it. All right, Thunder in the Valley 25th anniversary. That is in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, June 22nd through 25th, 2023. You can get more information on that at thunderinthevalley.com.
.com. Oh, look, I'm shrugging my responsibilities.
Because you're looking for the shotgun. 2023 Iowa Hog Drags and Nostalgia Reunion, June 30th through July 2nd in Humboldt, Iowa. They do have a great Facebook page if you want to stay up to date with that. Just Google it. Or if you're not watching on your phone, you can scan that little QR code in the right-hand corner. Easy Times Bike Week 2023 in Worcester at the legendary Ralph's Diner, July 8th, 11 to 6. I'm pretty sure I found that on Instagram, so I bet if you search that, you'll find that. But check it out. $5 to enter, and a chopper wheelie contest.
Oh boy.
Fuel Cleveland. This year it's a 2-day show. First time ever they've made it a 2-day event, July 29th and 30th at Hale Farm, somewhere in Ohio. I don't have glasses on, I can't read it, but just Google Hale Farm. No, you can go to fuelcleveland.com to get more information on that event. It's a killer show, great location, and I think we'll be there at least one, if not both days, right?
Yep.
Sweet. Good Times Motorcycle Show, August 24th through 26th. You can get more information on that at goodtimesmotorcycleshow.com.
Didn't we say we wanted to have the theme music from the sitcom Good Times every time we bring this up?
That's up. That's your scope.
Purview.
Yeah, whatever. Four Corners Motorcycle Rally, Labor Day weekend, August 31st through September something, but you can get more information at fourcornersmotorcyclerally.com. I think it's September 2nd, but I can't see. Smoke Out. This is like the only event that should be happening all year. September 7th, 8th, 9th. Get the hell out on the 10th. But we've got so much cool stuff. Bike shows, Sportster show, FXR show, Parrowitz paint show, mini bike races, dirt drags, bike games, World's Strongest Biker? Yes? Yes. And I don't know. What else we got going? We got a ton of cool stuff going on.
Jesus.
But there's links on Facebook and Instagram to get your tickets. We are still working on that website, so please bear with us. But it's happening. It's going down. NorCal Chopper Show, September 16th at the Waterloo Gun and Bocce Club. All I can think of is The Godfather. Like, gun, bocce, like, leave the gun, take the cannoli. I mean...
Leave the bocce balls.
Leave the
take
bocce ball. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
The Grundle Run.
Grundle Run, September 15th through 17th, 2022. You can get more information at grundlerun.com. But it's going to be a good time. You should go.
Right on.
What is a grundle?
I don't know.
Do you know?
I don't know, but I can't find the damn video.
Oh.
I know. It was so cool. He has this.
Find it.
And we'll bring it on next week. Yeah.
Did you search People's Champ?
I don't know if I did or not. No, I don't think so.
I'll find it. We'll repost it.
The product spotlight is brought to you by Drag Specialties, the world's largest distributor of aftermarket accessories.
Today's product spotlight is on the Andrews EV27 cam. Now, a lot of people are familiar with the Andrews name when it comes to any grind of cam, but any of us that lived through the era of the Evos, man, the EV27 was that great streetable cam, you know, boat-in application. You didn't have to do anything exotic with this. It gave you nice power through the range. It pulled from about 1,500 the whole way out through 5,000. Very nice, but at the same time, while you were getting that power out of the range, it wasn't going to do anything to destroy the motor or anything. Real easy to work with. But this is just part of the story. You know, Andrews developed through a long history of developing performance, and something you might be surprised to find here at Dennis Kirk. They got a lot of it. Come check it out today at DennisKirk.com.
Everything we do at the track shapes what we build for the street and the dirt.
You can see how bad these guys want it. The race to the line.
For us, racing is not for the trophies or the glory. We compete because it makes everything we do faster, more durable, and tested to a higher standard. For S&S, racing is the ultimate in proven performance, and we've been proving it since 1958.
I'm Brian Clock from Clockworks in Mitchell, South Dakota, and you're watching Shop Talk.
Hey, this is Chris with Cycle Source Magazine, and today I want to talk to you guys about tires. So I'm in the Dennis Kirk warehouse where they pretty much have a tire for anything on two wheels. You know, that's one of the tricky things today in your local shop. Sometimes it's hard to get a tire. Well, they ship today from here, so pretty much any of these you can have tomorrow. Everything for your dirt bike, your ATV, your UTV, you can get these out today. And in addition to features like the tire finder on their website, if you buy the wheel at the same time you buy the tire, you get free mounting and balancing. Check them out today at DennisKirk.com.
On Location is brought to you by Clockworks. It's your ride, you decide.
Hey, this is Chris with Cycle Source Magazine, Greasing Gears TV, and the rolling road trip with Chris and Heather continues. You can see behind me, Tom Banks is out on the track doing some practice laps, and we are in Bowenwall, Tennessee. Clay.
From the horsepower and the way the bikes are ridden. Now there's so much power they can slide through the turns. The only bikes couldn't do that, so they raced them on banked wooden tracks on wooden tracks.
Okay, so welcome back to the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. It's been a great show with you guys. Want to thank you so much. We apologize for this being a pre-recorded show, but like I said, I'm in South Dakota. Heather's in Tennessee. Mark is
I don't know where the hell I'm at.
In parts unknown, and we're doing the best that we can here, man. I don't know what to say. Every once in a while, there's got to be a pre-recorded show because I couldn't take the van on the plane. They wouldn't let me take the van on the plane.
He was trying to get it on his carry-on.
Mm-hmm. But nonetheless, we'll be back with you live here next Sunday at 9 p.m. Make sure you set your calendars. Hit the like and share button. Let your friends and neighbors know when we go live with Shop Talk so you can come along for the ride. And for the next week, for God's sakes, get out and do something on your motorcycle. Do something to it. Do something to one of your friends
Even
with
if
it.
it's wrong, just do something.
Until then, I'll see you next week right here. Same chopper time.
Same Chopper channel.
Bye, Felicia.
Oh, my goodness.
We'd like to thank our
we were doing
sponsors for their
events.
continued support, and we hope you pay them a visit when you're in the market for great motorcycle parts, products, and events. S&S Cycle, Makuni American, Baco Parts, The Broken Spoke Saloon, Twisted Tea, The Iron Horse Saloon, High Seas Rally, Twisted Choppers, Twin Power, Drag Specialties, Geico, Law Tigers, Tech Cycle, Fueling Parts, Lone Star Rally, Hijinks Apparel, Progressive Insurance, Spectral Oil, No School Choppers,